My name is Bobby Dietz, and welcome to another edition of the monthly recap for my ad agency. Some fun stuff explored this month. In particular, I went to a conference and started learning about organizational clarity and defining roles and how to do that, and reading a book about that as well. Talk a lot about what I've learned at that event, and then also our company sat down and tried to line out an org chart of what the growth could look like, how responsibilities could get doled out, because we can't have people having 6 bosses. And then we talked about opportunities and threats, things that we should direct our company towards and be careful of, cautious of, and some strategies we want to deploy to either take advantage or hedge against those things. And then we had a fun idea we learned about from another company, which was paying for client ad spend and the benefits of that, not just for points, but cash flow and a lot of different things, ingraining yourself with the client. But there's also some downsides that come with that too. So talk about that here in this video. It was a fun month, some good things happening with BizDev as well, but I'll let you get into it here. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Headed to a conference for entrepreneurs and business owners to try and see how we can do it better. So we'll see how it goes. First session of this thing was pretty cool. We have a few different points to remember. One thing I thought that was really interesting to do is these guys, when they're looking at brands, they look at their competitors, but not just like what their competitors look like. They look at all their reviews and they read all their reviews. And I thought that was really interesting, so they could learn the good and bad and improve on or duplicate what's working for other people. I thought that was really interesting. Looking at your competitors' offerings, obviously that is a big part of it as well. Not just the reviews, but the reviews was unique. This is all about building brand and how to get, proper brand messaging and strategy and all that done. They do a deep dive into history, so they understand everything they can about history. So for us, if it was like branding for my company, it would be looking at the history of San Diego and looking at the history of digital marketing or marketing in general in San Diego, and having a good understanding of what that community is like and what the community in general is like in San Diego, and trying to bring that back to our story. I thought a phrasing that was interesting in their slides that they brushed over quickly, but I picked up on, was that what kind of experience do people crave? I thought that was really interesting. If we're talking to brand marketing managers, people that we're going to manage Facebook or Google ads for, what kind of experience are these people that we're talking to craving? It's probably really good reporting. It's probably very organized. It's probably very communicative. So how do we say that in our brand and our messaging and very consistently? Number one is, the number one most important thing they said is organizational clarity. Who's responsible for what? Who makes what decisions? What part? How much does their decision matter in what's being decided? And a big part of that is just making sure people are heard and their opinions are respected and all that, which is really important. But we do need to have better organizational clarity for sure. Something they had was a statement of intent. I thought that was really cool. What they had written up there for a hotel, specifically a hotel project they were talking about, was a statement of intent. I want to do that. I want to create a statement of intent for my company, not a mission statement, but an intent. And we could create that. Maybe we create that for each prospect that we work on to become a client. Our intent here is an underlying theme in general. There's a plane going over, but an underlying theme in general is that brand is basically, you need to plant your flag in the ground. At the center of your brand is your flag. And I thought that was really interesting. It'd be great to plant our flag on something and say, this is what our main thing is, our main one word. If, like this hotel example they gave was connection, and then all the pillars that go below the flag that hold the flag up represent the different elements of the flag. So we need to come up with what our flag is, really. This goes back to that book Traction I'm reading. It's just a different way of applying a lot of this stuff, but so far I think it's really cool. If we're looking to grow our brand and be more professional with the way it's all organized and set up, and these kind of events are really helpful for that.
Ooh, I'm getting another Warriors championship. I had the newspaper from the last championship, thought they were going to win this year, so I didn't make the other one. I was going to do a 2-pack, but they didn't. Sad day. It's a late night here. Look at this. 10:30, are you kidding me? What am I doing at the office still? Well, we are in growth mode over here, and this is a very exciting time. It's kind of, I go home at like 5:30, I spend 2 or 3 hours with my kids and my wife. Then it's, murder shows for my wife, work on her business, or just rest. And then my kids are obviously asleep, and I'm either working on my laptop phone, watching a show, or coming back in, really trying to get it. So Right now we're excited because we have a lot of new clients coming in, and we're in a transition mode where we need to make sure we take care of our really important clients, just the 4 of us, but we don't really want to offload a lot of the smaller accounts that we're working on because they're good for cash flow. And we keep them really happy and they're really low impact. But they still need us because they don't know what they're doing, A, and B, we do a great job. We're trying to figure out how we're gonna grow. My business partner, Justin, put this basically just like a rough draft of what growth could look like. Here, I'll put it up on the screen, overlay here. And I think it's a really good idea. He's basically got a top row of a leadership that is the founding partners, that is us, and then in below that there are team leads where there's an account manager and an ads manager. So and then below them there will be people specifically responsible for tasks of media buying or bringing in accounts, taking care of accounts, all that kind of stuff. And each of the account managers or media managers is in charge of a team of 5 people in this instance. And each of those people are responsible for different things. If it's social media, or it's Amazon, or it's Google search, or it's email, maybe it's procurement, prospecting, and they will do their job, and then the account manager will make sure that they're satisfying all the client's needs, and then the media buying manager will make sure that the ads are getting bought in a way that's profitable and growing. So then he's got this other idea where each of the, if I pull this part up here, let's switch to the next screenshot. Each of the roles, if it's an account manager or a media manager, both of them are responsible for growing the business. I mean, the account manager could be a partner. It could be, a media manager could be a partner. They could just be in charge of overseeing all the media buys for 5 or 6 teams, whatever it is. But they're both in charge, right? So we'd have a account manager, whether that's us or somebody below us that we hire that's in charge. They would be responsible for bringing in new accounts and upselling all the other accounts. So inside sales of growing the ARR or MRR or whatever you want to call it, okay? And then also the media buyers would be in charge under this model of growing the revenue for all the accounts that they work on. So if I bring you an account and they're currently spending $50,000 a month, you need to be able to get them to 55 or 80 or 155 profitably without sacrificing ROAS, or at least making your best effort to do that while maintaining their goals. Because there's 2 ways to grow the company, right? It's net new business, or it's inside sales or account growth. There's probably a better term that some SaaS corporate person would know for those, but that's how I'm describing it. If we have, all of this is based on trying to get a monthly recurring revenue up to a point for us that can pay for our lifestyles, pay for our families and our own personal goals, and then also put us in a position where we can save and continue to grow other businesses. As you know, we have consumer goods that we own e-services, and we'd like to continue to make those things. So in order to do that, we need to get the revenue up so we can pay ourselves and pay employees and save so we can reinvest. So in this layout, we have a 50 client breakdown of $500,000 in monthly gross revenue, and we have 5 account managers of 5 media buy teams. So that would break down 10 per team, right? Pretty easy. If we have 10 social media buyers and 10 search and shopping buyers and 5 analytics people and 5 auditors, one of the coolest things that I think he suggested in his outline here is to have just people that audit our accounts. Their only job is to make sure that everything's happening correctly. Things are tracking, reporting right, finding things that are wrong. We do that now all the time, but at scale, we need people that just do that all day long, and they live in accounts looking all day long for problems and making suggestions to clients. Home run idea. And then obviously email and display content buyers. So all of those numbers are worked out here, and you can look at these estimates. This isn't something we have set in stone. These are just the first ideas that we've all penciled out. I like it. I think it's exciting to look at the growth potential and possibilities. I'm big I debate heavily whether we want to grow to heavy employee counts or exclude all of the small accounts and just work on our favorite big accounts and work to grow those. Because if we can't, we're working with some accounts that have 40 million, 20 million in sales, right? We can get them spending 10 or 20 million a year, no problem. Scale them up. They have the infrastructure to do those things, So I go back and forth between having 10, 12, 15 clients tops, or using a model more like this and moving to 50 clients or more and growing the company like crazy. So they're both fun to think about, and that's all we're doing at this point in the process, is thinking about how we're going to grow. And I have no problem sharing all this information. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's watching that would be able to give us more ideas. I'll be making more and more videos like this, just disclosing everything about our business. I think it's really fun. I really want to share, get some feedback. So if you have anything to add, put it in the comments, or suggestions of podcasts or books to read or things that you've learned, please again share it with us, either in private message or comments, whatever it is. My name's Bobby Dietz. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. We had a great meeting today talking about opportunities and threats. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think the biggest opportunity for our business right now is to incorporate a creative arm to our business. We just cannot offer the best possible returns if we don't get the ads we know are going to convert best, and we're kind of accepting that fact. The clients can provide us all the content they want, but they're very brand focused, very tonal focused, and we're very conversion focused. And it's very difficult to get a brand to understand the difference and get you exactly what you need all the time, because it's not good enough to just make a couple ads. You need it all the time, fresh content, especially for a platform like Facebook or Pinterest or Snapchat. I mean, we need fresh content all the time. So one of the threats, I think, for us to really scale the heck out of our Facebook component is a creative arm to our business. And that could be bringing a team, creating a team in-house. That could be buying a creative agency. That could be acquiring a couple of people that have done really well, that are freelancers, to come in and lead the charge. But my belief is that is a major threat for us to take over business on a lot of big accounts. And as our account size continues to go up, I think clients are really going to expect that work get done for them. And I think it's a major threat for us. But it also is a major opportunity too. There's a lot of upside there. We can charge for those services, and it's billed a lot different than ad spend. On ad spend we bill and we get paid a percentage of the ad spend we manage. But for the creative services, there could be a negotiated amount that for a specific number of jobs, and get paid 50% of that up front and the other 50% when it's delivered, or you could have a retainer on a monthly basis. The cool part is, though, we have all this cool book of clients. They all need content, so it's pretty easy for us to have a secure a position for a new employee if we bring them in, or a team of people that we bring them in just to do this kind of stuff. Because we can talk to clients and say, hey, we're thinking about getting a creative element to our business going. What kind of budget would you allocate to that? And it could be 2, it could be 10,000, who knows? And then we can reverse engineer how we're going to get, how many employees we're going to get, can we make money, and are we going to be able to provide really spectacular content? So I think it's going to be a really big part of the future of our business. I really see it as the only way to get the 10x ROAS that we want on Facebook with every account, because we're in complete control of the creatives. And that's what I see our competitors out there doing, that when they get bigger, and I want to do it too. I see the biggest opportunities, which we discussed this morning in our meeting, as a Google and LinkedIn. There's no question in my mind that Google is the #1 opportunity out there right now. It's not even debatable. I don't think any digital marketing agency would argue with me. More people are an absolute mess on Google than any other platform. It's unbelievable, and no one understands it. You know why? Because you have to actually do it for a long time to know Google Ads. You have to do it yourself, and not many brand marketing managers have spent their 3 years buying traffic to learn Google specifically. So we've got a real advantage there, because we have some spectacular leaders in our Google Ads department.
So I see that as our number one selling factor for our digital marketing agency, even though we're spectacular at Facebook. But everyone thinks they can do Facebook. You know, they make content and they think, oh, I'll pop a couple ads up. That's not the way it works. There's so much more to it, but everyone thinks they can do it because there's way less involved with search, with Facebook than there is in search as far as getting ads up. With keywords and everything, I mean, you have to know exactly what you're doing, and you're spending a lot of money, so you have to be careful, because it's not like pop an ad up, didn't convert, take it down, load another one. This is like, here's a good ad, we know it converts, make it convert better. That's Google. The other major opportunity I see for us is in LinkedIn. I do ad reviews every day, and man, a lot of people are not on LinkedIn. The platform right now is exploding in popularity. People are taking to it all the time for their content creation. People that were out there on Instagram putting business stuff up, we see them now coming to LinkedIn. And you know why? It's because it's like Facebook was 2008, 2012, early stage ads. And anytime you like a photo, all your friends see that you liked it. You comment on something, all your followers see that you like. That's what's happening in LinkedIn. It's so much more of a social network than any other platform right now. I think it's like Facebook in 2008, and it's just exploding. Their platform for ads is really powerful. It offers an absolute ton, and it's only getting better. And I'm not seeing a lot of really great ads up, man. I'm seeing a lot of stock photos, boring copy, and a ton of opportunity in B2B. I go to somebody that is interested even halfway in B2B, and I start talking about LinkedIn, and their eyes light up like you cannot believe, because they know it's the right platform for them, but they don't know how much traffic is available. It is an unbelievable amount of traffic on LinkedIn that's available. It is not penny clicks like on Facebook, but it shouldn't be. The targeting is spectacular, and it doesn't get any more expensive if you target down and make your audience smaller. You just limit your reach. That's all it is. They offer some very affordable ways to buy traffic too. You know, their messenger is really, really solid. So I see that as the second biggest opportunity for our business, and we're good at LinkedIn, so that's really helpful too. So those are kind of the things that we talked about in today's meeting. I'm really excited to see what happens. We also talked about employees. We got to start getting employees, but we can talk about that a little more in another video, and some of the steps we're taking to try and find employees. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll keep you guys posted in the next one. I was recently watching a video about another ad agency in a series called Agency Unfiltered on YouTube. Really cool. Maybe I'll link it out below. But one of these ad agencies puts up their own credit cards and fronts all the money for ad spend for all their clients. This puts them in a position where they're now getting all of the points, which would be 2%. I mean, if you go with an Amex Gold card, you could get 6% on advertising. That's insane money. And so if you're looking at clients that, let's say we have a client that's paying us 10% and we move all their ad spend onto our credit cards, at a minimum, we're going to be getting 2% cash back. Now, we talked to our fractional CFO about this. He obviously pointed out the fact that there's a lot of risk that goes along with that, right? Like, if somebody doesn't pay you back, you just got stiffed on 100 grand. That could shut your business down if you're not flush with cash, right? Or you got to make these massive credit card payments. So there's risk with that. So we started talking about like what could qualify for us to explore this with clients. It would be, 10 years in business, or 10 million in sales, or profitable, or 3x ROAS minimum, something like that. See, because for me, in exploring this very creative way to bring in more money for the company, and very painless and easy, I mean, you don't have to do anything. You just switch the card out and suddenly you're getting crazy points. There's a lot we could do for clients with these points. I mean, we could fund all of our new business ventures on all these points, and dinners, baseball games, any kind of travel that goes on, all of the going to see clients. I mean, all this stuff could go against these points, and it wouldn't cost the company anything. But if the clients don't pay us back, that's a big problem. If a client pays with the check too, it doesn't. We actually do keep the money because we're not paying Stripe 2.5% or whatever it is. So there's a lot of really interesting ways to think about this as a real option for our company, and it was a really unique way to bring more revenue in. If we're getting paid 10%, suddenly we're getting 12%, right? I had never even come close to considering this in the past. It wasn't even something I'd thought of. Not that I'm against it, but we talked to the partners and they're all thinking like, hey, if we do this with the right companies, like not companies that are startups or on the brink, it could work out really well, especially because we see the ROAS.
I know if these companies are converting or not. I know for sure if they're making money or not because we're talking all about their numbers. So if we get in with a company that we know is doing really well and we tell them, yo, we're ready, we're going to put your ad spend on our credit cards now and you guys can reimburse us, they would think that's a no-brainer too, because then they get to float. We get paid net 30. We bill on 30 days and we get paid net 30. So that means they don't even have to pay us for 60 days. They get to float all that cash for a long, long time before they pay us back. So it could be a really, really big thing for clients and a no-brainer for them as well, depending on how they use their points and if they use their points and how they do their accounting. So there's benefits to both parties if we can mitigate the risk. You know, it would have to be that we get some sort of collections efforts that are made, or the last thing we would never sue a client. So we have to figure out what we could do if they go bankrupt. What happens to the $200K that we've been spending for them every month? I don't know. There's risk there, but there's also a lot of reward. Like I said, Amex Gold Card, you get 6% cash back on advertising. That is insanity. Can you imagine if we went from 12% to 18% just for swapping our cards in? And imagine also what this would do for our credit. I mean, the credit for our company would skyrocket if we end up taking our credit line from $500,000 to $1 million and paying it off every month. I mean, that would be unbelievable for the company. We could qualify for loans for real estate. We could get a line of credit that would increase. Endless numbers of things that we can do to benefit our company for this, as long as we're able to mitigate the risk. Our fractional CFO thought it was a spectacular idea if we could mitigate the risk and told us to seriously consider it. So I think that's what we're doing, and I'm excited. I think it could work out really, really well for us. But we'll see. We haven't actually done it yet, so I'm interested to find out how it goes. That's it for this video. Something we're exploring now. Thanks for watching. My name is Bobby Dietz, and we'll see you in the next one.